Hello and welcome to 7 Facts. If you love geography and history, subscribe right now, I promise it'll be worth it. The Republic of Karelia is a federal subject of Russia in the northwest, right next to Finland. Home to about 640,000 people in an area as big as Greece and Switzerland put together, Karelia is one of those places where nature is still king. Nearly 85% of the land is still covered by massive forests. On average, you'll find less than 4 people per square kilometer, so there's plenty of peace and quiet here if that's what you wish for. The eastern parts of Karelia have been a part of the precursors of modern-day Russia since the 14th century, but the western parts have been a subject of dispute between Russia and Finland for a long time. Western Karelia was obtained by Peter I from Sweden in 1721, and the area was reunited with the Grand Duchy of Finland in the 19th century, when Russia obtained suzerainty over all of Finland. But after the Russian Revolution in 1917 and the proclamation of Finnish independence, Karelia was split again, leaving the eastern parts in Soviet hands. It didn't take long for the Soviet Union to claim more, and in 1939 the Russo-Finnish War erupted. Finns fought surprisingly well against the much larger Soviet army, but in the end lost the war and ceded the western portion too. Backed by Nazi Germany, Finland again went to war with the Soviets to claim back their lost territories, a war that lasted 3 years. They lost, and Finland was obliged to cede parts of Karelia and Sala, as well as certain islands in the Gulf of Finland and Petsamo to the USSR. Since then, the so-called Karelian question has remained an issue of debate in Finland. The lands of Karelia have an old and rich history, but all of it pales when compared to how old the actual lands are. Most of the Republic's surficial geology is dated up to 3.4 billion years. These rocks were formed in the Archean Aeon, in a time when the Earth's crust had cooled enough to allow the formation of continents and life started to form. As you probably know, our planet's surface is constantly shifting and changing, so areas that survived from such ancient epochs are rare and are a big deal. Karelia's primordial lands are the largest contiguous Archean outcrop in Europe and one of the largest in the world. Before we get to the next fact, I'd like to ask you one thing. This video isn't sponsored and none of them are so far, so perhaps you'd consider supporting this channel by becoming a patron. If you still enjoy my content, please go visit my Patreon page and help this channel out. Okay, now let's get to fact number 4. After the troubled years of World War II ended, the vast majority of Finnish citizens left the area and moved to Finland. So you won't find an ethnic diversity as big as one might expect. Currently, 82% of the people are Russian ethnics, followed by native Karelians, who are closely related to Finns and make up 7.4% of the population. The rest are mostly other Slavic ethnic groups and small Finnish communities. Karelian, Veps and Finnish, all Uralic languages, are officially recognized as minority languages, but Russian is the only official language of Karelia. Petrozavodsk is the capital city of Karelia. Its name comes from Tsar Peter I and Zavod, the Russian word for factory. This refers to the history of the first settlement, which appeared in 1703 during the construction of a weapons factory which was decreed by Peter I, so the armory was soon named after him. The settlement itself was founded by another decree as a place of residence for all the factory workers. Petrozavodsk is distinguished among other towns of North Russia by its neoclassical architectural heritage and its frontage on the Gulf of Petrozavodsk. Keep in mind though that the city falls under subarctic climate, so make sure you have a jacket ready before going for a walk. Karelia is home to Lake Ladoga, the largest lake in Europe. It's over 200 kilometers in length and 86 kilometers wide, and it's being fed by over 40 rivers. The lake itself feeds the river Neva, the 4th largest in Europe. While Ladoga is impressive and beautiful, it's certainly not alone. There are more than 60,000 lakes, most of them more than a hectare in size. Such stats put Karelia right next to other lake-rich countries like Finland or Canada. Remnants of Karelia's ancient past can still be found all over. Several thousand petroglyphs, the cave paintings left by the ancient Sami people, can be found in the Republic today. The drawings on the cave walls and ceilings are mostly of birds, wild animals, humans and boats, but around half of the objects depicted are still yet to be identified. Considered among the most complex and expressive examples of rock art in Northern Europe, these petroglyphs are older than the earliest Egyptian pyramids, dated between 5,000 and 6,000 years ago. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Leave your comments downstairs and don't forget there's a Patreon page where you can support this channel. I hope to see you next time. Bye.